28 for Jackson Jr. The lead is 3. Nurk, head fake, blocked from the side by Vince Williams. Inside of 30 seconds to go. Beal tipped away by Marcus Smart. You called it.
Welcome back to your Valley Sports Plugs Phoenix Suns recap for December 27th, 2023 through January 8th, 2024. I'm Chris Patrick. That's Michael Benjamin, and we're here to break it all down for you. In the last 2 weeks, the Suns went 5-3, and despite that record, there continues to be a ton of uncertainty surrounding this team and their ability to win games consistently. Mike, let's go ahead and take a look at how those 8 games broke down for Phoenix.
We start in Houston on Wednesday the 27th as the Suns win 129-113 behind an explosive first half, taking an 18-point lead into the halftime. Then we head back home for a big 6-game homestand where the Hornets come in on Friday and the Suns win 133-119. The Hornets are a young team with potential, but they've been battling injuries, man, and LaMelo Ball has been sidelined for quite some time. But then on New Year's Eve, the Suns beat the Orlando Magic 112-107 and hold off a nice young upstarting Orlando team with a 17-6 run in the fourth. Then the next day, the Blazers come to town, but no DeAndre Ayton, and this was the start of no Kevin Durant for 3 games, and the Suns win a nice one, 109-88. And 2 days later, the brand new nemesis of the Phoenix Suns, okay, maybe not brand new, but the Los Angeles Clippers come in, and they are on a hot streak and beat the Suns 131-122 as both Paul George and Kawhi Leonard go for 30+. And the Suns bounce back on Friday the 5th and beat the Miami Heat 113-97 behind Grayson Allen tying the franchise record with 9 made 3-pointers. And to end the homestand this past Sunday, the Ja Morantless Grizzlies come in and really upset the Phoenix Suns. Ja ends up having a torn labrum and we know is now out for the season. The Suns are outscored 35-18 in the fourth, squandering an 11-point lead heading into the final quarter. In our last game of this recap, the Suns go on a back-to-back to Los Angeles and get trounced by the Clippers 138-111. They give up 101 points through 3 quarters, just absolutely demolished in the fourth, and the starters end up watching the last 5 minutes from the bench. But right now, Chris, when it comes to standings, we're at the bottom of the play-in. And the Lakers are on our heels. So I know we got to pass it over to you to see where you think this Phoenix Suns team is. And like you said, after going 5-3, is that really painting the whole picture?
Yeah, Mike, this team just is not where I think we all wanted them to be or expected them to be at this point in the season. And quite frankly, as a Suns fan, this team is no fun to watch, especially when you consider how much of a party it was at Footprint Center the past couple of seasons. You can go back to the trade for Kevin Durant, where we got rid of Cam Johnson and Mikal Bridges, almost selling our soul to get Kevin Durant. And has he lived up to the hype? He's shown flashes, but not just Kevin Durant. This whole team, it just seems like there's no consistency. And that's not even talking about our inability to finish in the fourth quarter. I just don't understand how a team can play 3 decent quarters of basketball and then just completely disappear for the last 12 minutes. That type of shit needs to get cleaned up. I mean, we're out of excuses for this team. It was the stars are injured. They haven't gotten to play together. They haven't gotten the reps. But at this point, they've gotten enough. Whether they're on the court or not, they're practicing together. They're talking every day, or at least you would hope. I mean, Bradley Beal, man, he just doesn't look like a superstar. Is he one of the top 50 best players in the league? Probably. But is he worth the 60+ million he's going to command over the next few seasons? Absolutely not. That's got to turn around, and I don't know if it will. Kevin Durant might be starting to show his age a bit, just to speak on him a little bit. He's been out, and that's to be expected. We knew these guys were going to get banged up, be in and out, but I want to see them go on a good stretch of games together, and we just haven't gotten that yet. This team doesn't appear to have a leader either. I mean, Devin Booker's showing his frustration in the post games. He's saying all the right things. He'll be the first one to tell you that there are no more excuses left, and they just got to start winning these games. And I mean, I would just be really surprised if they're able to make any meaningful moves before the trade deadline or in the buyout market. I don't know what we have to move or who is out there that we could even realistically get our hands on. But we're technically not even halfway through the season yet. Still have 45 games left to go, but they really need to figure it out in the next 10 games or so if we want to make a run.
And Chris, as we know, the finger pointing starts to come when you're just not where you thought you were going to be at this point in a season. And the biggest thing is the Phoenix Suns can't beat good teams, right? So like we said, when they go 5-3 over the stretch, you got to look at who they played and who they got manhandled by, which is the Los Angeles Clippers. But it's becoming the same song and dance as we continue to talk about the turnovers killing this team, especially in the fourth quarter, not taking enough three-pointers. We could talk about that Memphis game where Memphis jacks up 51 comparative to the Suns 28. The Suns have only been shooting about 39.7% from three, which is okay. When you don't take enough to keep up with some of these teams, you find yourself falling behind. And they always seem to want to answer in the mid-range game because we know these guys are killers at that point. But we're just not getting enough firepower coming from our big three right now, who are finally actually playing together, which is another thing that is just killing the momentum of where this team needs to be because they're trying to figure out how to work together themselves. I mean, over the last 8, we know KD missed 3. We know Beal finally kind of got back into form, and Booker got pushed around in that Memphis game. I'm surprised he played the back-to-back against the Clippers, but KD's averaging 26.4, Booker with 23.1, and Beal with 16.4. If this team is not going to get the help from the bench that it needs, the big three have to average 75 to 80 points per game, and that's not where they sit right now. You do have to give some big ups to Grayson Allen. Obviously, we talked about him setting that franchise record. He's been a stud so far for this Phoenix Suns team. He's the one piece that they can probably trade, but he's the one they need to keep because he's holding his end of the bargain. And Eric Gordon, he's doing what he has to do now, rolling back into a roll off the bench, but he's missed some time too. And it's the same song and dance, Chris. I know we said it, but it's hard to really look at this team and pinpoint where problems are when they really just have not played enough games together at the end of the day. So we're still stuck in that no man's land of saying, well, it's kind of early. We still have some time to figure things out, but it is just majorly frustrating as a Phoenix Suns fan. I know a lot of the Valley is concerned, which rightfully you can be, but hopefully these guys can stay healthy, continue to find their form, and like we said in the last recap, start having some of these bench guys produce and fill in a role that they need to and what they were brought in to do. And that's all I got for right now, Chris. So what do you got for the next 2 weeks?
Yeah, there's a few tests that we'll have coming up on the slate. We're going to start in Los Angeles taking on the Lakers, then travel up north to take on the Portland Trailblazers and maybe our old friend DeAndre Ayton, who's been in and out of the lineup for them. We'll then come back home to face the Sacramento Kings before leaving town again to head out to New Orleans for a matchup with the Pelicans. And then we'll come back for 2 more, taking on the Indiana Pacers and the Chicago Bulls at Footprint Center. But we're going to keep bringing you a recap of the Phoenix Suns every 2 weeks this season. So make sure you subscribe right here on YouTube and set those notifications so you can stay up to date with all the Valley Sports and Phoenix Suns action. For Michael Benjamin, I'm Chris Patrick, and we'll see you next time. Peace.